When you have endured the darkness of narcissistic abuse, it's easy to feel alone and abandoned. But as a chosen one, as an empath, God or universe never ever neglected you. You feel you are in the rut, you are stuck, and there is no one supporting you. But what if I told you God is by your side? That higher power is definitely working for you, but behind the scenes, it's guiding you toward healing, growth, and recognizing your purpose. Don't believe me? Let me prove it to you in this episode. I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. The topic for today is 5 undeniable signs God is paving your path as a narcissistic abuse survivor. Stay until the very end of this episode because I'm going to share my personal experiences, how I recognized my purpose, and how I am living it now. Sign number 1: toxic people begin to leave your life, often abruptly. Narcissists often drift away or are removed by God from your life. Those people who are not aligned with your higher purpose are filtered out. Let's say you have been trying to get out of your narcissistic family. You tried before but failed to leave because they re-established control over you. But now that your time has come, a way has appeared. All of a sudden, it has become easy for you to make a choice. You have found a way to escape safely. You have found financial support, or somebody is ready to give you shelter for a while. Many things that were unexpected are happening. It's called a divine intervention. How can I say so? Well, the same happened with me. It was during my college days when I realized that my entire family was narcissistic. But at that time, I was deeply enmeshed with my narcissistic mother. My father, I recognized him as a monster. But I did not choose to leave at the time. I still went back. Why? Because I wanted to save my mom. I wanted to be there for her because she was the primary victim. He was attacking her all the time. So I was a barrier. I decided to be the shield, the sponge who would absorb all his abuse. And I started doing the same thing. I started playing that role. It was during that time she started showing her true nature, but I completely ignored it. I justified everything. And then circumstances were created, of course, by the divine force that I was almost forced to leave. I was left with no choice except traveling to a different state in the name of studies. During that period, I was in a lot of pain because I had separation anxiety and I did not want to experience that abandonment. So I stayed. And it's during that time I became more aware of what was going on and I started healing, I started training, I started working with somebody. Then I had a plan that I'll go back after this time only for my mom. However, the more I stayed away, the more clarity I gained. That clarity was not strong enough to help me cut the umbilical cord. So, what happened next? Circumstances were changed again. Pandemic happened and I was forced to stay away. It's as if God was saying, you cannot go back. I know it's very painful. Exits are extremely painful, but they are orchestrated by me. You have to stay away to know how toxic your family of origin is. And it's during that time my mother showed her true nature to me. It felt like I died, a part of me died, because I had never expected my mom to turn out to be the same beast. But that is what it is. And I was forced to accept it. It's not only her who revealed her true self, everybody else who could have become a potential obstacle in my way. And they were removed from my life entirely. Talk about friends, talk about relatives. Every single person was removed, cut off. Something happened. All of them showed me their true colors. When this starts to happen, understand God is doing his work. Sign number 2: you develop an unexplainable strength to say no. Out of nowhere, you find the strength to set the boundaries that you couldn't set before. You say no to shaming, to blaming, to guilt tripping, to all that drama. In fact, it becomes your second nature. You are not driven by your fear, your sense of obligation towards them, or guilt. You know it's not your fault and it's your right to protect yourself. Where does it come from? It comes from a place within that you were not in touch with. And that is what supports you, strengthens your character, and you become capable of maintaining that powerful distance from them. Personal example, it was my mother during the pandemic who made me say no to her for the first time. She asked for a huge amount of money, which I had, but I didn't want to give. She did not need it for something urgent. She wanted to loan it out to somebody else. I was not okay with that. It was my hard earned money. Why would I give it to you to get attention or validation from somebody else? So I very clearly said no for the first time because she had programmed and groomed me to always say yes, which I'd been doing for years. But at that moment, I said, no, I'm denying your request. You can imagine what happened next. A volcano of rage erupted, and she gave me silent treatment for days. She raged at me. Did it impact me? It did indeed, because I was not used to those silence periods. But during the time I reflected, I just understood the reality of her nature. Like, what was I dealing with? She was no different than my dad. And I had to make peace with that reality that all my life I had been living a lie. The lie was my mother is different than my father, that she is a loving person, that she's the best mom in the world, that she had sacrificed everything for us. No, she had told us those lies just to guilt trip us. This newly found strength to say no is not just personal growth, it is the spirit fortifying your soul, fortifying your strength, your capability to fully cut them off and to stay away. Sign number 3, your pain turns into your calling. This is the biggest thing that happens. That unbearable pain becomes fuel for something greater, and you start realizing it. It's almost an inner knowing. You know that that was not it. I did not go through that pain just to go through it, just to experience it. God wants something bigger from me. And when that realization hits you, you find that inner strength which helps you to move forward. You find that motivation to build something, to rebuild your life, to lay the foundation of what you can call your purpose. God uses your brokenness to guide you toward your life's mission. For me, that tiny realization happened during my college days, but it was not clear enough. And it's at that time when I laid the foundation of what I'm doing today. I can tell you, I purchased my domain, emotionalabuserecovery.com. I had no idea what I'm going to do with it, what I'm going to turn it into, and how many people I'm going to help. Nothing. I started my Instagram profile, my channel. That's it. And I started sharing my experiences. I thought I'm going to motivate people to get out of toxic situations. But I myself was dealing with a lot of toxicity with my mom, as I already explained. So that was a pivotal moment for me. That was the life changing decision that I made. It was open ended. I did not have a direction, but God kept guiding my intuition. I paid for that domain out of my tuition fees. I couldn't afford it, but I still purchased it because that was my calling, pushing me towards giving it a real name, my purpose, whatever I'll be doing in future. Sign number 4, your connection to God deepens in unexpected ways. You may feel a strong urge to sit with yourself, to pray, to meditate, to listen to divine lectures. You become silent and try to search the deeper meaning behind your experiences. Yes, that narcissist may still be present in your life, but you start isolating yourself from their drama. You always want to be alone. You want to sit with yourself and go within. And you may also have visions. A lot of people have shared their experiences with me. You may hear things, you may be shown images, and you may feel like you're led on a path. The destination is creating a new life. To what end? Maybe to help others, maybe You had to go through that pain to become the source of light that you once needed in your life. These are the deep realizations that you have. And that helps you to make meaning of your suffering. You feel like your life was not wasted. You feel connected to everything and anything at the same time. You see God everywhere. In every moment, you realize His presence. I do not know if you can relate, but if you can, let me know in the comments. This was my personal experience. During a phase when I became totally silent, people thought I'm depressed. I was not depressed. I was simply experiencing the divine presence. It was a soothing blanket. It was my eternal peace. It is what helped me understand that I have to do something bigger. The vision was casted. It was not an illusion. It was not my fantasy. It was created by somebody else. And from there onwards, when I started living my purpose, when I started moving forward towards it with confidence, I started taking giant leaps. And that's when I saw a lot of progress. And that's how I'm here. That's how I became capable of helping all you guys. Let me tell you this, your faith becomes the foundation of your healing. Sign number 5 and the last one. A new vision for your future emerges. You know what happens in a narcissistic relationship. You get trapped either in the present because you have to deal with them, or you keep reliving your past even after leaving them. But once you have worked on your traumas, once you have healed yourself, a new vision emerges. Do you see it? Yes. Do you feel it? Indeed. Can you hear it? Of course. I cannot explain it in words. It's an experiential thing. In what ways does it show up? In the form of those small ideas, unexpected reflections, that voice that tells you, you gotta do this next. You gotta talk to this person next, or you need to learn this new skill, or you need to know how to take care of your finances, or you need to consult a lawyer, or you need to open an LLC, or you do this, you need to do that. It's not something coming from your brain. You truly feel somebody is feeding you ideas. And let me share a secret with you. I get a lot of ideas and I've been receiving them for a while now. It's when I'm between sleep, the state of sleep, and waking up. I'm neither asleep nor fully awake, somewhere in between when those ideas appear. This is something spiritual that only experience can help you understand. But that is when I get a lot of ideas. That's when I see my future. That's when I realize how free I am today. That's when my confidence in myself and my decision of going no contact is reinforced. That is when I am guided to do this thing more. Even I am given topics to talk about. It's all coming from there. It's the divine inspiration. Have you experienced something like that in your healing journey? Let me know in the comments. So, those were the 5 signs. I hope you were able to relate. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.